right. I am Alex Bilan. I'm a student at the University of Connecticut, or UConn, as it's more popularly known as. And I was doing my sociology project, um, on people who believe in the flat Earth. So curious to see your unique perspective as both an influencer and someone with this unique belief.
All right.
All right.
How do you want to begin?
Um, First, Mr. Weiss, right? That's how you pronounce it?
You can call me Dave.
Dave? Okay. That Perfect. Okay, so what do you refer to yourself as?
Um, People call me Flat Earth Dave because I go around. I do podcasts. I've been on everything from Roseanne to InfoWars to Jim Brewer to every little podcast. And I go around teaching people about the heliocentric model. That's the model that you believe in. And I teach people about reality. One of them's religion, one of them's reality. And everyone that's into this is into it the same way. We thought it was stupid until we looked.
Until we looked. Interesting,
Yeah.
interesting. So, would you refer to yourself as a flat earther, or is there something else?
Well, the word flat Earth, what is flat? Is your floor flat?
I, sup yeah,
If you zoomed in with a micron telescope, it would look like a mountainous region. It would look like the Alps, right? Because it's not really
right,
flat.
yeah.
But what is flat Earth? It's level. The Earth is level. The science of water tells us that water needs containment. Large bodies of water at rest need containment. You can't have a bath without the side of the bathtub. You can't have a lake or a pond without the side of the pond containing the water. And you can't have water on a lumpy rock floating in a space vacuum surrounded by high pressure air with no container. All of these things break every law of common sense and of science. Um, but when the flat Earth is, we are in a level plane, and we can get into why. Um, and the Earth is 70% water, so that water would have to have convexity to it. But water at rest lies flat, testably, measurably, scientifically, provably flat.
Okay.
Just so
Okay,
just so
interesting.
when people think about flat Earth,
Right.
um, they'll Google it, and they'll get this image right here, um, of a disk floating in space, right? No,
Right. I was going to ask you about this if I were to get through the question, but you said that this is the disk thing is not what people who believe in flat Earth
no.
actually
So
think it is.
the disk is two false models in one. They want you to believe in helio, excuse me, in heliocentric space, and they want you to believe that we're a disk floating in space. And people
Hmm.
say, are we the only everyone's been trained like, oh, are we the only pancake planet? All the other planets flat, right? Well, what do you know about planets other than what Disney and NASA told you? And those are two sister companies, right? So you've seen lights in the sky, and you were told that they were physical balls with possibly people on them, or life, or just rocks, whatever, but you've never seen anything in the sky other than a point of light. And no one is able to tell you the size or distance or what it's made up. They can tell you anything they want, but that's not what it is. And people say, well, where's a picture of the flat Earth? Well, every picture is of the flat Earth. The question is, if you were in a room, let's say we were in a Home Depot, right? Home Depot, a pretty big place. You been to Home Depot? Of course, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What if the Home Depot was 100 miles wide? Would you be able to see the last aisle from the first aisle? Of course not.
I guess not.
Would you be able to take a picture of the entire inside of the Home Depot?
I guess it would depend how high I was.
Well, it's the same height as a regular Home Depot. So the answer is no. You get up as high as you can, and you can't. You can only see where you can see to, because if you ever been to Vegas, the hotels, the hallways are so long there. If you go to one end of the hallway, the floor and the ceiling look like they're touching at the other end of the hallway due to perspective. So you can't take a picture of the entire thing. So people say, where's your picture? Here's a picture. Here's a balloon up at 120,000 feet. And there's the sun right there. Now, is that sun, if you knew nothing, if you were born today, knew nothing, Is that sun 93 million miles away, or is it right over this part of the Earth where it's lighter? It's darker over here. It's lighter over here. 93 million miles away, or right there where you see it?
Well, if I knew nothing, I'd say right there.
Okay, but you were told it's 93 million miles away. What evidence do you have of that?
Well, I'm not burning alive right now.
So you believe that the sun is a burning ball of gas in a space vacuum. Think about that. Wait, did you take any physics classes yet?
Yeah.
High pressure, air pressure needs a container. Like if I said, hey, come over for a barbecue, bring the propane, but I don't want you to bring a tank, just bring the propane. You couldn't do it because it needs a container, right? So the Earth, the globe Earth, we're a lumpy rock surrounded by smooth, curved water that no one's ever seen curve, surrounded by high pressure air, adjacent to a void of space, of no pressure, a vacuum. So how come the vacuum of space doesn't suck all the air off? Why doesn't all the air just fill the available space? The only answer you could possibly come up with is gravity's holding it down, but I can quickly disprove
Um, Dave, re before we get into trying to do some debates, I wanted to go over some sociological parts
I
about the
I
flat Earth.
I got it, but you can
Okay.
no, we'll go over that. I don't have
All
to go
right.
into all the details, but the thing is, right now you're looking at this as like this is a sociological thing. The guy actually believes the Earth is flat. Of course, we know the Earth is a globe, but you don't even know why you think it's a globe, other than people told you.
Do you think it'd be a problem if I said I didn't really care what shape the Earth was?
That is a problem, but no, everyone says that. I said it at first because the shape of the earth doesn't matter. It's your position in it and what this place really is. And the reason that they're hiding the shape of the earth, the form of the earth, because the controllers of this world don't want you to know your position in it or the power that you have. Go ahead, let's go into your questions.
Oh, okay. If you don't mind, then we can, continue this
Sure.
train of thought, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, yeah. How did you can I use the term flat earther or would you
Yeah, you can. I love it.
okay. How did you become a flat earther?
I actually looked. So I was doing a conspiracy podcast looking into all sorts of deceptions out there, and people started sending me flat Earth stuff. I refused to look at it. I said that's
Right.
just a step too far. It's too stupid, and I banned people from our social media. Like you're too stupid to comment on our podcast because you think the Earth could be flat. And then another researcher that I trust a lot said, Dave, you got to look into this. So I went in with a not an investigation attitude. I went in with a I'm going to just disprove this attitude. You know, if you're
Right.
looking for the truth, you say, all right, let me go. Let's see what the answer is. I didn't do that. I said, let me disprove the flat Earth, prove the globe, and be done with all you idiots. Right. And then I just started looking, and back in 2014 when this happened, when you'd watch a video on YouTube would recommend another like video. Now,
Right. Algorithm.
the algorithm has changed, and if you search top 10 reasons the Earth is flat, you're going to get top 10 reasons the Earth is a globe. They're hiding all that information. So I looked and looked and looked for 2 weeks. I didn't sleep, and I said, okay, well, I'm not just going to believe a video on YouTube. I got to go do this myself. So back then, Nikon had just released the P900 super zoom camera. So I went out,
Hmm.
bought $1,000 camera, tripod, went down to the beach, and I had a perfect cold, clear, calm day. I set my tripod up maybe 2.5 feet off the ground, and I zoomed in on a buoy that was over 10 miles away. Now, that doesn't sound far for the size that they tell us the Earth is, but if you use the globe math, that buoy should have been behind over 60 feet of curvature. Behind 60 feet of curvature. You can't see my mouth right now because it's behind curvature, right? But not only could
Hmm.
I see that buoy, I could see the land, the surface of the water far beyond it, right? And we have tons of observations like this, and they're just you can't deny them when you look at them. And so you say, well, the curvature calculator is wrong, or or you know the there's something wrong. And so what I did is I went to the debunking sites. There's all these flat Earth debunking sites. These people that are trying to keep you lost in the sauce. And they said, well, you don't measure it like that. You measure the curvature. You're here, and the thing is over here, so you have to split the curvature, which is stupid. But I said, okay, so there's only 30 feet of curvature. How come I can see a 10-foot buoy? How can I see that? Right? I'm doing this by myself. I'm not like it's not secondhand information or anything
Right.
like that. And I could see it. And when you see it yourself, you have to say, why am I seeing that? Let me just show you this real quick. This is a frozen lake. Now they'll scream refraction, all sorts of stuff. And we got a camera 6 inches off the lake, and we put these four lights out here at 8 miles, 7 miles, 6 miles, and 5 miles. Now,
Hmm.
according to Globe Math, they should be 30 feet, 22, 15, and 9 feet below the curve, which means the camera is seeing them all at the same line, but they should be like this. Here's the horizon. This one should be 30 feet or whatever below the curve, right? But for some reason, they're all refracting up and magically stopping right at my tangent level to the curved Earth, or Earth is flat and I'm just looking at the lights.
Okay, interesting.
I'll take interesting.
All right. Um, is that all you want to say on
Well,
the question?
I'll throw you one more. Here's another
Oh,
one.
okay.
A,
Another
a, a
piece
camera, a
of detail.
camera, a foot off the ground.
Hmm.
This platform, 9.4 miles away, 6.2 miles away. The curvature calculation from that height is 59 feet. Not only can we see the whole platform, we can see the surface of the water from miles beyond it. So that
Okay.
means one of two things: Earth is flat, or two, Earth has a radius of 4 million miles. Do you know what the radius of the Earth that you believe in is?
I'm
It's
blanking on it.
it's under 4,000 miles.
4,000.
Okay. 4,000 versus now this picture here requires an Earth to be like 1,000 times bigger, but we have images of boats at distances on the water that would require the Earth to have a radius of like it's a 400,000 mile. It's just ridiculous. Thousands of times bigger than it is. And if the Earth is thousands of times bigger than it is, you think that would matter? You think you would care about that? Because that would mean that they're hiding something, more land, more resources, more people, maybe.
Hmm. I sure, I suppose, but
So
but
it might matter to you. Give me a might.
well, yeah, but the thing about that line of argument is that you would, if you would like to use the supposed land, you would need people to work on that supposed land, and if the majority of people didn't already know that that land existed,
What if
then
that land
how are you
did?
supposed
What
to?
if that land did exist? What if that land was here before? Right? You've taken some history classes. Let me tell you something. Your history class is worse than your astronomy class. Right? The this world is not what you think it was. There was an advanced civilization here just a couple hundred years ago. Right? When before Christopher Columbus allegedly got here, San Francisco was already here, built. There was buildings here, right? They're lying about all our history. The Wild West is a lie. It's all lies.
Oh man, I like the Westerns.
Yeah, me too. And I like space. I like Star Wars. All of that is to put your mind in a prison. In a prison. Right here, if you look on my app, I'm going to just type in maps. And again, I don't need to prove what's beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, but if this is Antarctica, which is Antarctica is the highest land on Earth, it's the containment of our pond. And Antarctica is over double the height of the second highest continent, right? So water needs containment. Here it is. What's out here? What's out there? What's beyond Antarctica, right? What they did is they took that map, they wrapped it around a ball, and they said, you're not allowed to explore this white area. We'll take you to this little peninsula right here, to a little island called Deception Island. We'll charge you 10 grand and we'll let you see some penguins and some ice, and then we'll kick you out, right? But what if the world looked like this? Here we are, America, South America, Africa, and this is Antarctica. And this is more land out here. Extra territory. If somebody lived on the extra territory out here, you might consider them an extraterrestrial from the outer space.
Interesting.
I'll take it interesting. You know about the oldest clock in the world, the Prague clock? It literally shows what I'm talking about. It was built from a previous time before our history is telling us. Everything we're told about history is a lie. And by the way, they were teaching flat Earth in America, public schools, well into the 1900s.
Hmm. Was that clock carbon dated?
It's the Prague clock. Just look up the Prague clock.
Prod clock?
Prague. You know Prague?
Prague.
Yeah, Prague clock.
Okay, I'll
And
look at it after the interview.
carbon dating is another complete and total hoax. Yes, you can figure out organic matter to hundreds of years, maybe maybe a couple thousand, but it's all nonsense. And we've tested it that where if you don't tell them what you're giving them, they don't turn the dial. Like they gave them some dinosaur fossils, didn't tell them it was a dinosaur fossil, and they said, "Oh, that's just it's 10,000 years old." And they're like, well, this is from a dinosaur site. And they're like, oh, and they say, we have to turn the dial. It's 10 million years old. And then they ban those people from ever sending anything to the lab again because they lied about where it came from. So carbon dating is just another hoax.
Do you have a source for that?
Not off the tip of my hands, but just Google carbon dating hoax and you'll find tons of information.
Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Um, all right, my next question is, um, what inspired you to focus? Because you said you had a more broader conspiracy theory platform before this. What inspired you to focus your platform on investigating and exploring theories on flat Earth?
Well, flat Earth, and I say this, and people will be like, how can you say that? What I say is, it is the most important topic ever. People say,
Hmm.
well, come on, with child trafficking and wars and nuclear war possibility and starvation and political nonsense, right? How can you say flat Earth is the most important? It's because it's the foundation of the lies. The globe is a foundation of your lies. The globe limits your ability to understand what this place is. It keeps you in a place of fear. Asteroids are going to hit us, global warming, we're overpopulated, we're running out of fuel. All of that is nonsense, right? All of that is complete and total fear, fear porn, and fear is false evidence appearing real. And, people say, why would they lie? Well, they're hiding free energy. They're hiding the creator. They're hiding your spirituality, hiding more land, hiding more resources, more scientific knowledge, what's in Antarctica, and the fact that we are at the center of creation and that we're special. Okay. Those are just a few of the reasons, just a few.
Okay, I like your quote on fear. That's interesting. Okay.
I'm getting in. Interestings are good. Do you know what Bitcoin is?
Yeah, it's the cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's cryptocurrency. You know what a Bitcoin's worth today?
Last time I checked, it was like 32,000, 33,000.
Oh, you haven't checked in a while. It's almost $100,000 per Bitcoin, right?
Huh.
So
Yeah.
you and all of your class, I have a challenge for you, right? The challenge
Mhm.
is I have this app. You don't have to get the app, but if you get the app, there's a daily video every day. Watch it for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you think the Earth is a globe, you can send me one globe proof and you win 3 Bitcoins, right? But
Three
before you do
Bitcoins.
it, you have to click the question mark button and make sure your question isn't answered here. Like, hey, what about gravity? Why would they lie? I highly recommend you watch that because you said, what difference does it make? It'll show you what difference it makes. Eclipses, where does the sun go? How does the sun set over the ocean? All of those questions are answered. And I just give you a fair warning. If you try to win the 3 Bitcoins, you will become a flat earther. Okay, because that's going to force you to look at the evidence, but you've been programmed to ridicule it, to immediately discount it. But I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Don't feel bad
Okay.
because I got them all wrong. So let's see if you can get my score. What's
Sure.
the radius of the Earth? I told you you're ready. So 4,000, just
Four
under
four
4,000.
thousand miles.
What's the circumference of the Earth at the equator?
I don't know.
24,901. What's the distance to the sun?
I probably sh well, you said like
What?
nine million miles? 90
93.
million.
93. Okay,
93.
what's the
I
well?
should have looked into this
You're
before.
actually a listener. You're listening,
Yeah.
which is good. What is the orbital speed of the Earth around the sun?
365 days.
No, no.
Well,
What is the
3 point
speed? The speed. The
the
speed.
speed.
Yeah.
I probably should have looked into this
Right.
before.
Well, no, but here's the thing. It's
Yeah.
okay, but it doesn't matter because it's all nonsense, right? So we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting at 66,600 miles an hour, a funny number that keeps coming up in the helio satanic model, right? And we're chasing the sun at a 500,000 miles per hour, never to return where we were before. So do you know that the sun is moving at a 500,000 miles an hour
Hmm.
and it never comes back to where it was before? So the
Hmm.
question I have for you is, do you know what parallax is?
No.
Parallax is when you have a close object and a far object, and when you move, one appears to move faster than the other, right? Parallax, like the trees on the side of the road move faster than the trees in the distance, right? When you're driving down the road, right? So
Yeah.
you have two objects, and as I move, right, this one is on the one side, and then we go like this, and now it's on the other side. It changed positions. That's called parallax, right? So with all of this going on, all the stars, they tell us that the stars, the 80% of the stars in our galaxy are binary. They're going like this, right? As they're orbiting, as they're going in their own directions. Never once in history have two stars ever crossed each other due to parallax. In all of history, never have any two stars crossed each other's path. Can you explain that?
I'd have to look into that a little more.
Well, if you look into it, you're going to end up being a flat earther because you're going to realize that the heliocentric model is complete and total nonsense.
Interesting.
Okay. So can I just show you real quick what these
Of
speeds?
course, yeah. I just want to get through all these
All right, go
questions.
ahead. Go to your questions. I was going to show you what the how ridiculous these speeds are, but we'll go to your questions. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Um, yeah. I'm sorry, but this is some interesting stuff. But
I
this is
won't
a
go through anyone.
sociology thing.
We'll go through your sociology thing, but just the last thing. Anybody
Mhm.
listening to this, don't believe anything I say. Go to flatearthdave.com. It says crash course. See a big picture of me. Watch the first three videos there, and you'll be finished. All right, go ahead. Your questions.
Okay. Thank you. Um, as a flat earther, do you experience any challenges in regards to the rest of the conspiracy theory community?
Well, yes, in 2014, everyone thought you were crazy. And when I first heard about it, I said flat Earth is just a psyop to discredit all of the other good research that truthers have done. But then when you actually look into it, so now when you mention flat Earth to somebody, they're like, I've heard something about that, and they're asking questions, and more people are coming on. My app has over 200,000 users on it. It's growing. We did a survey, I think it was 4 years ago in Brazil. They said they took a survey how many people believe that the earth is flat or a globe or whatever. And there was over 11 million people that said the globe is not true. The globe is false. So that's 11 million people in Brazil 4 years ago. And it's been growing exponentially. There are still countries in the world that teach flat earth. In Costa Rica, they teach flat earth in school.
Hmm. I didn't know that.
It's I think Costa Rica, or maybe it's I think it's Costa Rica or whatever's right next to it. I forget, but it's down there. One of those, and there's other places also. But as I said earlier, they were teaching flat Earth here until the 1950s.
Hmm. That's interesting.
Okay,
I
good.
did not know that. Um, okay. Anything else you'd like to add to that question,
No, no,
or?
let's go to your questions. I don't want to dominate all the time because I can show you proof after proof after proof, but you've got a sociology paper and an agenda.
Yeah.
Let's go it.
Um, in your opinion, does being a flat earther come with the prerequisite of denying science?
Absolutely not. Flat earthers actually use science. Heliocentrists only use pseudoscience. Absolutely 100% pseudoscience. So, do you know what the deepest, what's the center of the earth?
The core?
The core. And what is the core? It's a molten
Um,
magnetic core, right?
yeah.
Okay. Do you know what the Curie point is? So magnets have a thing called a Curie point where you heat them and they get to a certain point before they melt that they lose all magnetism. So how do you have a molten magnetic core when There is no such thing as a molten magnet. That's one thing. Next thing is they say they say that the deepest hole, well, forget the deepest hole. The crust of the earth, I'm trying to look for something and it's not showing up and it's pissing me off. There it is. All right. They say that this is the you've seen this meme, right? You got the multimagnetic core, you got this, you got the crust, you got whatever, and the crust is here, right? This is a meme, a pseudoscience meme, because the deepest hole ever dug was less than 8 miles. It was in Russia. It's called the
Yeah,
Kora borehole. They worked on it for
I'm familiar with
years.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if this skin of the apple is the crust, they drilled like a quarter of the way through the skin and they used ground penetrating radar to see what they're going to hit next. They said, all right, no more rocks. They hit rocks. All right, no more water. They hit water. Right. So the ground penetrating radar was wrong every step of the way. Then they hit an impenetrable barrier that they tried for years to get through. They could not get through it no matter what they did. So they were wrong about the quarter of the skin, but somehow they know it's at the core. That's pseudoscience. Flat earthers actually use a scientific method. We use a scientific
Interesting.
method on everything. So they say
Okay,
flat earthers
so
are science deniers. No, no. We don't just say the word science. We use the scientific method. You cannot show me a single scientific proof that the earth is a globe. The globe is a religion. Flat earth is a scientific fact.
okay, interesting. Um, have your beliefs as a flat earther affected any personal or professional relationships?
Hell yeah, man. So first, I there's certain people in this world that aren't ready for the truth, and I let them have their journey, and I've separated ways. It's caused issues with my brother and sister. We've never actually even spoken about flat Earth because they're red pilled and they're stuck in the matrix, and that's their journey. That's fine. But I have tons of new friends. My wife is amazing. She gets it. We research together, and
That's nice.
it comes with a lot of, people that are just, the people that fight you on the flat earth the most know nothing about the globe. They just have ideas of what the flat earth is, which are all wrong. They're all straw mans. They're all red herrings, and none of them are the truth. So yeah, it does cause issues, but it also presents lots of opportunities.
Okay, interesting. Um, by the way, just for a note, I didn't come here with the express
No, no,
to
I'm-
fight you
you're
on
not
anything.
fighting me. I love
Yeah,
this.
okay.
Keep going. Hit me with your hardest questions.
All right. Would you say that you have any doubts regarding your beliefs as a flat earther?
That's a great question. And the answer is I know that I don't know lots of stuff. Globe believers
Okay,
think they know everything, but they don't
good
know
answer.
anything. They don't know anything, right? I know that there's more to learn. I know that, the history that I've been taught is a lie. And so what else is a lie? And it goes right down to the foundation of where we are, who we are, what this place is, right? You're taught evolution in school, right? Once you look at
True. Yeah.
evolution and understand it, it's such nonsense. It's absolute and complete and total nonsense. It hides creation. Go ahead.
Okay. Um, all right. My next question is, what would you say is the biggest misconception of being a flat earther? Why do you think many people have this misconception? And lastly, why do you think that do you think there's a hint of truth in said misconception?
No, there's no truth in misconceptions. It's, before we were born, before we were born, before we could talk, we were brainwashed into this globe thing. Your parents probably put a mobile with planets over your bed, park you in front of Sesame Street. Sesame Street is constantly pushing astronauts and globe and Disney, and then movies and books and everything. And then the astronauts going to the moon, and if you look at all the stuff that NASA does with kids, or, how do you eat in space? How do you go to the bathroom in space? It's the same nonsense again and again and again and again. But we catch them faking everything in space. So space and flat Earth are tied together. They discovered there was a thing called Project High Jump, which was in 1959. They discovered in Antarctica what was beyond the South Pole, which was land bigger than the United States that no human has ever set foot upon. Wait a minute. That would be from where they came from in between Australia and Africa. Don't you think somebody over there would have seen the land bigger than the United States that no human has ever set foot upon? No one has ever seen, right? So as soon as that happened, they immediately said no one can go to Antarctica. All the countries in the world signed the Antarctic Treaty. No one can freely explore Antarctica. And then we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Look up there. Don't look over there. Look up at the sky. Look at the lights in the sky because we're going there. And it's all to keep us in that mind prison. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So,
Hey, everybody, quick message that I'd like to share with all of you. Our lives are filled with toxins in our air, food, and even in the information we're taught. Avoiding them all is impossible, but helping your body detox doesn't have to be complicated. That's where Masterpiece comes in. Just 5 drops under your tongue twice a day, and that's it. Super easy, super simple, and it doesn't even taste bad. I've tried countless supplements, and while generally I'm pretty healthy, I didn't really feel much of an effect. But with Masterpiece, it delivered noticeable benefits. Check out the podcast I did with Terry from Masterpiece, linked below this video, or you can find links directly to Masterpiece on my website, flatearthdave.com, or in the shopping section on the app. The key to health is to detoxify. Now back to the show.
so what is the most common misconception of being a flat earther?
That you can fall off the edge of the earth.
No, I mean, like, say, like a round earther thinking about a flat earther. What
Well,
would be a common misconception?
I mean, they say they think that we're a disk floating in space. They think that
Okay.
we don't use the scientific method. They think that we're that we didn't look into this. They don't understand their own model at all. Um, and they have no idea what our model is. They've never seen anything like this. They don't
Okay.
understand it because they haven't looked into it.
Okay. Interesting. Um, all right. Um, would you consider yourself a part of like the larger flat Earth community, or are you like in your own like little part of it?
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of controversy within the flat Earth community because people have different ideas.
Right.
I like talking about more land beyond Antarctica because there's so much evidence for that. There's
Hmm.
books about it from the 1800s. If you go in the book section here and it says more land, there's a book called The Iron Republic. You can find The Iron Republic on YouTube, read to you by the channel called The Morgile. Listen to it. It's about a politician in New York that got fed up in the 1800s, bought a ship, went to Antarctica, found an opening, ended up going to the other side of Antarctica, lost at sea for 3 months, found land, found a city, and ended up living there for 10 years with this advanced civilization. Then he came back to Florida and told the story in 1901, right?
Hmm.
That that has been highly suppressed. And the information, the society, the way everything worked was amazing. Whether the story is true or not, I think it's true. Doesn't matter. They were talking about more land beyond Antarctica. So there is controversy within the community on whether there's more land or not, because people like biblical, they're like, no, God no created the earth and that's it. I think God created the bigger earth. I think there's more ponds out there. I think there's more lands. I think there's more
Okay.
worlds. But what was the specific question? The specific question was, I had a good answer for it.
Oh, would you consider yourself a part of the
Oh,
larger flat
yeah,
Earth
yeah.
community?
Yes, I would.
You would.
And no nobody, I'm doing this by myself. We all feed off of each other, share information, and I found that this message is super important. I want a future for my kids and a future for myself, and the world is going to shit. All right, if I said it.
Hmm.
And until the way they get away with all this stuff is people are lost in space, spinning out of control, don't know who they are, don't know what they are, don't know the power that they have. The government is trying to get above you and above God. And the truth is, it's God, man, maybe government below your feet if you allow them, if they could do something useful, but it doesn't seem that they can.
Okay. Um, Interesting. Um, would you consider the flat Earth community to be a welcoming community?
Absolutely. However, once you see flat Earth, one thing we all have in common is we can't believe how we ever believed in the heliocentric nonsense. Because when you look back, you're like, how did I ever fall for that? So every day, we kick ourselves on our own asses. Going, I can't believe I fell for that for all those years, for all of my life. I can't believe I believe that nonsense. So when someone comes in, super welcome. Even if a lot of people that come in used to be trolls that would troll us, right? I consider me a troll. I was like, you guys are crazy, right? But then they all of a sudden they look and they're like, wow, and they come in. So yes, but because of that, we get so passionate. There's so many people that if you come in and make some stupid claims, they will attack you viciously. Okay. And that's just because they're super passionate. So yes, we're welcoming, but sometimes some flat earthers can be mean. Go ahead.
Right. Can I have 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Oh, okay. Uh, almost done with my questions.
No problem. And when we're
Um,
done, I just have one or two questions for you.
okay, yeah. No problems. Okay. What is your favorite and least favorite experience being a part of the Flat Earth community?
My favorite experience is showing somebody that had no idea that the earth is flat, that it is flat, and having that moment when they realize it.
Like the glow in their eye when they're like, "Oh my goodness."
And it never goes away once you have it.
Interesting. Okay. And least favorite?
You know, there's a lot of negativity. There's people that are constantly attacking me, people that, attacked my app. They hacked the server. So that cost me a lot of money, but that was my least favorite. But honestly, it all adds up and makes it just a better experience. So in the end, when I write my book and I'm doing a lecture when the whole world knows that the earth is flat, telling my story, it'll be a story of struggle that I said I won't change any part of it. So I don't look at any of it as negative. Some of it's less enjoyable, some of it's stressful, but it's all part of the puzzle.
I guess anything worth doing is a little stressful.
Yep.
All right. Would you say that publicly being a flat earther comes with challenges? If so, what would those be?
Well, I used to care what people think about me, but now I don't. So there's really no challenge there. The challenge is keeping my mouth shut because if I'm out in a public place and I really don't bring it up, but enough people know me now that they bring it up, and once they bring it up, doors open and we have the conversation. So I'm really good at handling it. I have some old time friends that have no idea what flat Earth is. They think I'm crazy and they don't really discuss it with me. So when I see them, we don't really talk about it. So, it's a little disappointing, but it's all right. Want to tilt your camera down a little bit? You look at just a head
Oh,
stuck
sorry. Yeah.
there. That's all right. Go ahead.
Okay. Are there any unique challenges that you face having both a platform and being a flat earther?
I mean, it's a very unique situation. I'm out there,
Of course.
where when I go on all these different shows, a lot of them would have me on because they think they're going to make fun of me. But by the end of the show, they're like, "Oh my God, Earth is flat." I never knew. You know, I've got a little homework for you in your class on my website, flatearthdave.com. There's I told you the crash course videos. Those are amazing. But there's a video called Old World Order. I want you to watch that tonight. Okay. It's called Old World Order. And it's going to show you about the old world. It's just an introduction. It's like just turn off Netflix for one night, watch that, and it'll change your life. It'll piss off your
Interesting.
history teacher, but it's going to change your life.
Interesting. So people always invite you onto platforms and try to make you into a fool.
They have me on. Well, more so now they have me on because it's interesting. They're like, I've heard it a million times. Right? Let's have a flat earther on because I know the earth is a globe because of seasons, because of sunsets, because of, time, time zones. And then when I show them, they go, oh, I never really thought about it. That's right. You never really thought about it.
Never really thought about it. Okay. Interesting. Are there any other beliefs that you have to have in tandem, whether conspiratorial or not, to be a flat earther?
You just have to be a critical thinker. That's all. I mean, if you believe, honestly, you have to be a
Throwing
critical
some shade,
thinker.
I see.
You have to look and think and use your God-given common sense. To be a globe earther, you have to live in Narnia.
So just have some common sense.
Common sense and actually be willing to use your brain. Now you're in college, okay?
Right.
And you're being told stuff. How do you get an A? Challenge it or memorize it?
Memorize
Memorize and regurgitate. So
mostly.
if I wrote a book this thick and it's called the Book of BS, right? And I gave it to your entire class and everybody studied it. And then we did a final exam and you and five other kids got 100% correct. You guys get certificates. You guys get diplomas on BS. And now you can go teach BS to everybody. And if anyone questions you, you go, I've got a diploma. Where's your diploma? Are you published? No. So you have to believe my BS and don't even question it because it's in the book. That's what school is. It's indoctrination. Don't get me wrong. There are
Some
some good
classes.
things they teach you in school, but they're teaching you slave math, accounting two, managerial accounting. They're teaching you algebra. They're teaching you stuff that makes you a good corporate slave. Do you have a class in vortex mathematics, sacred geometry? Go see if that's in the curriculum. Look that up, right? Those are the real maths, right? Did they teach you about Nikola Tesla? Not Tesla, Elon Musk. Nikola Tesla, the guy that created free energy for the world's fairs and it could transmit free energy worldwide. Did they teach you about that in school?
I'm not.
They
I
don't. They don't teach you about it in
okay.
school. Okay.
Hmm.
He figured out a way to give free energy to everybody. So flat Earth hiding free energy. What if you had a device the size of you're in college, so you don't realize it yet. You had a device the size of your fist that could power your car for 100 years, heat your home and air condition to it at any temperature you want, any time of year, and it wouldn't, and it's clean and it never runs out. Would that change your life?
Yeah.
Damn right it would. You're going to spend the rest of your life working and half of your money is going to go for those things alone.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I'll have to look into the that stuff you said. And my last question here before we can move on to whatever else you'd like to talk about for the time remaining. Is there anything else you would like to mention or say?
Um, well, I got a couple questions for you.
Okay,
All
fair
right.
enough.
So you were taught we live in a globe. You believe we live in a globe. What's your best reason that you think the Earth is a globe, other than they told me it was?
Gravity.
Gravity. So which gravity are you talking about? Einsteinian gravity or Newtonian gravity? Because Newtonian gravity is mass attracting mass, but they've thrown that out because it doesn't work. And
Mass attracting gravity.
mass attract mass, like the size of the Earth is a mass and is attracting the moon. That's the gravity you're talking about, right?
Right.
Right. And then the other gravity is Einsteinian gravity, which is called the bending and warping of space-time. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't. Can you tell me what it is? Because it's nonsense, is what it is, right?
Relativity.
Well, you're just using words. This is the three body problem. You got three objects orbiting, and this is just simulating their gravity. And in a short time, they just go into chaos mode. There's no computer in the world can tell you what it's going to do next, right? They can predict like a couple seconds in the future, but some reason the order of our cosmos is a perfect clock, and it never changes. It never changes. So let me show you about gravity, right? So
Okay.
our this I got some helium balloons here, and they're just holding. I got this is a button, and it's just a couple inches off the floor. We got a wire that goes to a Van der Graaf generator. Now the Earth is the ground has a testable negative charge to it, and the sky has a measurable positive charge to it. So anything off the ground is positively charged. So we're going to add a positive charge to this, a higher positive charge, and when we do it all of a sudden gets heavier. Is it getting heavier or does it just have a more positive attraction to the ground, which is not moving? We discharge it and it goes up. And now, so this is a scientific method. We're testing. We have an independent variable. We have a dependent variable. And then we do it with a negative charge. It goes up. We turn it off. It goes down. We turn it back on, keep it on, it goes up, right? So that's test. So we're are we defying gravity or are we defying electrostatics? This is called the silent drone at MIT. It looks like a bunch of milk crates and it has no moving parts. It has no wind. It is just flying using electrostatics. Is it defying gravity or is it defying electrostatics? Right? So what's going on here is this ball falls not due to gravity because it's positively charged, the ground is negatively charged. There's a downward flow and it's more dense than the air around it. If I had a helium balloon, it would go up because it's less dense than the air around it, right? So that's not the electrostatics is testable, measurable, scientifically provable. Gravity is a theory. Look it up. Gravity is a theory, and they don't know how it works, right? Science says that the electrostatic charge is 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity. So let's pretend gravity is real.
Okay.
This is electrostatic charges. It's 10 to the 36 times stronger than gravity. Where's gravity? 10 to the 36. You can't even fathom what that number is. 10 to the 12th is a trillion, right? How long do you think 1 trillion seconds is? Just to show you how big the number of trillion is. How long is 1 trillion seconds?
Probably millions of years.
Well, that's a little far. 31,000 years, 1 trillion
Oh,
seconds, right? So if I punch you and then I punch you a trillion times harder, you would vaporize. Okay.
yeah.
Right.
Not an atom left.
So then 1,000 times that, 1,000 times that number, 1,000 times that number, we're not even halfway to 36. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're telling us that gravity is nothing. The electrostatics is proven. Gravity is a theory. So there's
Okay.
your gravity question.
If I may,
Yes.
um, so say I were to superheat a metal, right?
Okay.
If I heat it, because you were talking about the core a little bit earlier, would that metal start floating?
Why would it float?
Well,
It's more
okay,
dense
okay.
than the air around it.
So it has to be less dense than the air around it to float with the electrical charge.
Correct.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. What
Um,
so what would your next reason that the Earth is a globe other than big G, because that's their glue, because without G, the ball doesn't exist, orbits don't exist, galaxies don't exist. It's all nonsense. Evolution doesn't exist.
mm,
Here's the thing. You're actually thinking. I appreciate you. You're actually using your mind here. And the reason you can't come up with another reason that you think the Earth is a globe is because there are no other reasons. There are no reasons. There's none, right? The sun sets beyond the horizon, not below it.
can I see what your model of the flat Earth looks like? Like what you personally believe?
Well, here we're looking straight down at the Earth. At the center is the North Pole.
Okay.
The sun, see the yellow line here? That's the Tropic of Capricorn. The sun migrates out from the Tropic of Cancer, this inner yellow line, and June 21st, our inner summer. And then it goes out to the outer southern lands. And on December 21st, it's at its outermost part. And on December 21st is summer in Australia. And if I called my friend in Sydney right now, he would say it's noon and the sun is directly over him. And it's midnight for us over here right now. Okay. And so the sun migrates in and out, in and out. Um, and the stars, if I turn the stars on, the stars are doing the same thing, but they're going slightly faster than the sun, where they lap the sun once every 365 and a quarter days, right? So the sun will slowly drift backwards through each zodiac. And that's why the sun is in the zodiac that it's in for about a month, right? And then if I speed it up, I'll show you. You can see the moon. The moon is going to start to disappear as the sun laps it every 28 days. So there's no moon now or a new moon. And then the moon will start appearing. There'll be a waxing crescent right there. and the sun is just getting farther away from it. When it's 180 degrees away, they'll have a full moon, right?
All right. However,
However,
what what stops someone? Okay, at the time it is right now for your model. What stops someone from seeing the sun from anywhere if the world is flat?
great question. I'm going to answer that one for you, and um, I want you to follow this. It's a good one. So the sun is a local light. Imagine yourself in a gigantic gymnasium, right? Lights out, pitch black. And you're in
Hmm.
the far corner and you have just a little light bulb and you're holding it like 2 feet over the floor in the far side of the gym. It's going to light up a certain area, but it's not going to light up the other side of the room. Your friend's over on the other side of the room. Now he can see the sun because he's got a good angular view to it, but the atmosphere becomes opaque and the topography becomes opaque. So let me show you. Here's a perspective grid,
Hmm.
and this guy's eye line is right here. We'll throw this mountain in here. So this mountain, let's say it's 3,000 feet over his head, and you got the sun above it. Now the sun is just going to go away. Is it below the horizon or is it beyond the mountain?
Well, I can't tell.
Well, let me show you. This is a building in New York City. We're looking straight up at it, and oops, and so we're looking straight up, and it's 12 o'clock, and now it's 1 o'clock. Is it below the horizon or beyond the building? Of course, it's beyond the building, right? It's just beyond the building.
Okay.
If you went backwards, you'd be able to see it, right?
Right.
Okay, so the sun went beyond the mountain. If you're standing next to a mountain, it's 12 noon, the sun's above you, the sun goes away, the mountain's going to block the sun. If you were there, that you could experience that in real life. Pretty simple. Just think about it, right?
Okay.
So how can we see the sun? If he floated up in the air, he could see it. Or if he went backwards, hold on, I got to get there. If he went backwards like 20 miles, let's make him go backwards 20 miles. Now he can see the sun again. Now, the top of this mountain is still 3,000 feet above his eyes, globe or flat, right?
Hmm.
And it looks like it's at his eye level. So as the sun continues to go away, it goes beyond the mountain again, and he can't see it due to perspective. Now we'll add the sky in here. We got the cloud deck. Now, even without clouds, atmosphere is like glass. You could have had a panel of glass between us. You couldn't even see it. 3 panels of glass. All right, I see it. 100 panels of glass wouldn't even be able to see you, right? Light doesn't even go through it at some point. So these clouds here are all the same height, but here they look like they're merging into this horizon or horizontal eye zone, right? So the sun will just go again beyond it, just beyond it. So what can we say about this line right here, this horizontal eye zone? It's 3,000 feet above his eyes at the top of the mountain, and 10,000 feet above that are the clouds. So this horizontal line is 13,000 plus feet above his eye level, but he sees it here. He sees it at his eye level. So the sun just went beyond it and it takes its light. Let me show you an example of the sun going away and taking its light. So here is, let me see. Let's see what this one is. Oh, so this looks like the sun is setting, right?
Hmm.
Over the water. But what happens when we zoom in, right? If we zoom in, it's going to show you that the sun is not even setting. You just can't discern this space. And this line here is the atmospheric deck of opacity, which is 10,000 plus feet above your eye line. The sun is just going to go beyond it. It's just going to go beyond it. And then you won't be able to see it. And I could show you, this is on a super cold, super clear day. I had my drone up and I'm looking west and it's dry and clear. Now the sun was up here, it was going down, 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 down because we're spinning, but then it stopped. If we're spinning, it shouldn't stop. And it sat here for 10 minutes. This is super sped up. Now my friends are at the beach over here. The sun set from them bottom up 10 minutes ago, but I'm still looking at it. And what's going on here? Its light is getting attenuated into the atmos, and now you can't see it. Now, people say Photoshop. I live stream this. Okay. On the app, there's a whole sun fade out section showing you that this is real. Okay. And
All
here,
right. So
here
what? So then, what is the sun?
great question. How would I know?
Oh, okay. So there's no answer for what the sun is.
The sun is a focal point of energy that lights our world. It is a local light, provable. And it could be the light of the creator, right? As John Lennon said, the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, but the eyes in his head see the world spinning round. This sun is just going away. It's just going away. Earth isn't, the photographer is not falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound. The sun is just circling around the earth, taking its light with it.
Okay. It- But if that were the case, you should still be able to pinpoint where it is in the night sky, even though it's very small. Do
No,
you have?
it goes beyond the atmosphere over a couple hundred miles becomes completely opaque and you can't see it, right? So once it goes away, it goes beyond it. Like if you're sitting in your yard and you have a wood picket fence and your neighbor comes over, you can see him from here up and he's talking to you, right? You're sitting down here, right? When he walks away, his head's going to disappear from the bottom up, right? Just like, this is his head and here's the fence. He's going to go away. It's going to set. Now you can't zoom in through that fence. Well, the atmosphere compresses and is opaque, and it just goes beyond it. It
Okay,
takes
I
a little
see.
thinking. You got to really look into it, and once you start seeing it, it'll blow your mind. Let me show you another a little experiment I did, just a demonstration. This line here is above my kitchen counter, and I'm
Hmm.
running this light, and we're looking at it from a celestial point of view, the height of the sun. Now, this could be mountains, or it could be the atmospheric deck, and I'm just running it and I'm just keeping it along this line. Now I have a terrestrial camera on the counter over here looking up at the same thing, and I'm going to show you that from a terrestrial point of view. From a terrestrial point of view, this line looks like it's going down. This is the sun just going away, and it looks like it's going below this thing, but it's not. It looks like it's going below it. Right? And then if I zoom in on it, look at this line. If I showed you this first and said, is this level or is it diagonally sloping down? You'd say it's sloping down. And you'd say this is going below the horizon. It's going beyond the horizon. This is a real sunset. This is my thing. This is the celestial point of view. Look at this. What's it going behind? It's setting behind the atmospheric deck of opacity, and you can't zoom in through opacity.
Hmm. Interesting.
I'll take it interesting.
You'll take an interesting.
I will. I will take it. So here's the thing. You're not going to believe, and listen, if you believe the earth is flat by the time we're done with this, you're gullible. Okay. You need
Hmm.
to do more research. You need to
Right.
look. And when you Google flat earth, you're not going to find anything. You're going to get the opposite, which should make you suspicious. Right?
No,
Why?
that is true because I was trying to look look up look up your social media from the Google tab. I was looking up your Instagram, um and the first few things I found was trying to disprove you
Absolutely.
before. And actually, I think I found your personal Instagram before I found your platform for Flat Earth.
FlatEarthDave.com. All my socials are there. Follow me on X. Guys, are you guys X users? Are college kids into X? Twitter?
I try to stay off as much social media as possible,
All right,
but
good for
I don't
you.
know
Good
as
for you.
much.
But if you're looking to follow me, all my stuff is at flatearthdave.com. Here's the thing.
Hmm.
The app it's a $3 app. I highly recommend it, but you don't have to get it. And the trolls will, be like, oh my God, he's just trying to sell his app. But on the app is the old world button, and this stuff will blow your mind. Here's Old World Order. It's on my website too. You can find it. It's free. You can just watch that. My lunch break, blow your mind. Your history teacher, give it to them. Um, But on the app, on the web button, which is the more resources page, there's a
Hmm.
section called full length videos. All of the videos on here, all of them on all of this are being hidden from you by Google. They don't want you to see them because if you see them, you are literally unplugging from their matrix of fear. And again, there's books. You won't find these books in easily. They're not in Barnes and Noble. They're not, they're on Amazon, but you'd have to know them by names. Um, there's all sorts of stuff. There's tons and tons and tons of information on here. And I just encourage you to hopefully anyone that sees this will spark their interest, watch those things, and then you're in. You're in.
Do I need to buy the app to win the Bitcoin?
No, you don't. Well,
Okay.
you have to not waste my time. So if you don't get
Okay.
the app, you can go to flatearthdave.com and then say crash course, and there's a list of videos there. You have to watch 5 videos. I
5 videos.
recommend the first 5, but you can jump around if you want.
All right. No,
Okay.
just curious because.
No, please do it because check this out. Let me ask you sociology a question.
All right.
You think the Earth is a globe? I'm offering 3 Bitcoins. I'm asking you to watch 5 videos that you can do with your feet up and a beer in your hand. Why wouldn't you do it?
No, I mean that's $300,000.
Yeah, why wouldn't you do it? And then if you did it,
Pay tuition.
yeah, and more, right? Actually, you could drop out of school and just start a business, which would be
Yeah, I suppose so.
right. So if you did it and you couldn't prove the globe, don't you think if the globe was real, you could prove it?
Well, I didn't do much research
I know,
in
but
into my
you're
thinking.
not the only one that's tried. Nobody. I've been offering this for years. I still have my Bitcoins.
Hmm, interesting.
Yeah, it was only 30 grand when I started. So now it's 300 grand. I'm like, should I lower it? I don't care. It doesn't matter because I'm not going to lose my Bitcoins. Earth is flat.
I
Testably,
like the
provably,
confidence.
scientifically. It's confidence based on knowledge. You're maybe not so confident anymore, but you think the Earth is a globe based on nothing,
Hmm,
based on belief.
uh,
What else you got?
I mean, I guess to a point, I wish that school did do more to give evidence towards what they say.
Here's what I suggest. Watch the crash course, watch the old world stuff, and then you're going to ask yourself, why the hell am I in school?
Interesting.
You're in there.
Did you say you had another question for me?
No, that's it. I just want to like
That's it. Okay.
why you believe you live on a globe, and and the answer is you don't know why. You said gravity. We kind of took care of that. You said you asked about the how does the sun set? I showed you that. What else is there? Seasons? Want to talk about seasons? Seasons? Want to talk about circumnavigation? I mean, all of these things prove the flat Earth.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely look into it more.
All right, you got it. All right,
Yeah.
thanks and good luck. And
Thank you so much for your time.
yeah,
This is I do the one thing I do really appreciate about, and why I love conspiracy theories so much, whether or not it's,
you know,
pick your choices,
you know the definition of a conspiracy theorist: somebody that knows the truth before the regular population figures it out. Right? I've been doing this for years, decades, and everything I talked about has come true.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dave.
All right, man. Have a good day. See ya. Good
Yeah,
luck.
it's been a pleasure.
Challenge your professors. Don't let them get away with nonsense. All right. Watch Old
All
World
right.
Order. Watch Old
I'll
World
send
Order.
this to my professor.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully he'll watch it and watch on YouTube. My Lunch Break. That's the name of the channel. My Lunch Break. Pick
My
any
lunch break.
one of his 100 videos, and you're going to be like, "What are they teaching me?" And then you're going to walk around UConn, and you're going to go, "How did I miss this? It's right in front of me." You're walking by old world buildings, and you don't even know it.
Hmm.
All right. Peace. See ya.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You got it. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.